Okay, here's my next update video. Well, there's things that's happened, and I'm going to talk about the non-physical body changes first. And if you don't want to listen to this, then just skip past it. Well, what's been happening is I'm still working with the attorney for my case and everything, and my therapist is helping with all that process. And I just haven't heard back since the last thing I've heard, so fingers crossed about that. I was having an issue because here where I live, it was like a few weeks ago, the weather kind of was a little bit rainy and whatnot a few days, and it was when I was starting to take the progesterone. So the progesterone makes your hormones do all that. So it's kind of down a little bit those days, because the progesterone gives you mood swings and all that. It's like the 2-week period before the time of the month. Those 10 days when the progesterone's up higher. Yeah. So it's like it's progesterone, hormones, and the weather. Then was it a few days, but it was with like a week after that or something like that. I went to pick up my prescriptions and I was having an issue there as well. It's because the pharmacy was completely out of spironolactone is what they were saying. And they didn't know when they were going to get it back in. They said they were out for a couple of months and the pharmacy wasn't releasing it. But I was able to get a partial fill for 10 days. Then it was coming closer and closer to where my spironolactone was almost out, where I had 2 days left. So I ended up contacting, I messaged the doctor explaining how I was feeling. And it was within like an hour I got a message back saying they heard back from the pharmacy saying that they got the 50 milligrams in and I'd be taking more. I just need to contact the pharmacy about picking it up and I could start taking it. So I got that picked up for a month. So I have a month, and it's like last week I got that picked up, yeah. So I had a month and 2 days. So I decided to take those extra 2 from that partial fill and save it for an emergency type of a situation if something like this happens again. And I'm definitely not able to pick it up, so yeah. So that happened, and yeah. I don't want to go back to not being on spironolactone because how it reversed changes and how it affected my mental state. It was just like, yeah. Affected my gender dysphoria and whatnot. So that has happened and is resolved. I just have to, when I fill out my prescription again, just ask if they have the 100 milligrams back in or not, and if not, get the 50 ones filled because I have a prescription for both. Just whatever they have. So, yeah. And what else? Well, all I can say is nothing real much in my life has happened. So the physical changes and whatnot, it's hormonally my time of the month. day 3, having cramps, and yeah, like I've mentioned in my previous videos, us trans women do have a time of the month hormonally, because the hormones do the exact same thing when we take them with when we take progesterone alongside the estrogen. We get a time of the month hormonally. We go through everything: cramps, bloating, mood changes, the whole thing except the bleeding. Because for some of us, we don't have that part. Unless you're intersex, then it can vary depending on what parts you have. But yeah. And as far as I know, I don't have those parts. It's not constructed in the female way down there yet. So yeah. So that's going on. And the research I've been doing, I don't know if how many of you know who's subscribed to my channel about Jazz Jennings and her transition story and everything, and her show on TLC. Show I Am Jazz. Yeah, but it was because of her and what she's doing to help everyone, to educate everyone. The version of the surgery she got a few weeks ago was this version of the surgery I've been searching for a long time. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have found this version of the surgery. Yeah. So I'm thankful she is doing what she's doing. And the version of that surgery makes the vaginal cavity more functional, where it secretes fluids and everything. But it's kind of out of my price range. It's like $68,000 was what was estimated to me by them who does it at Mount Sinai in New York. That's what they quoted me. It's like $68,000. And I'm like, that's the most expensive I've ever seen for the surgery, but it's the most functional I've ever seen. Of course, like everything from the other surgeries, versions, everything's functional but the vaginal cavity. Like the clitoris is functional and whatnot. But this version makes everything function. Not just the clitoris, but the vaginal cavity. Instead of a penile inversion, lining it with skin, they take the second layer of skin, the peritoneum, from the scrotal tissue, that second layer of skin, and line the vaginal cavity. And it constantly secretes fluids, so it's functional. That's the version I want, so yeah. I'm trying to figure out. It's going to take a while, but to get this surgery, so it's going to kind of like, yeah. But it's been a struggle here and there, but it is just what it is, and it's gonna happen sooner or later. Whenever it happens, it happens. But yeah, other than that, the very physical changes I've been having. Well, here on my chin, I had laser hair removal done, a touch up. The hair had pigment in it. Now it doesn't again. Because I notice every time I get laser, the pigment's been going away. The last few times I've gotten the treatment, the pigment's just gone. I have to wait until the pigment comes back. But I noticed there's kind of some hair here on this side and on this side. And a few through here. I haven't noticed anything through here. I know I haven't shaved yet this morning, so you can't tell because it's not that long. I just feel right here some hairs, but that's about, and a hair down here. That's about it. With the hairs, what's, yeah, there's some. It's almost gone, yay. Let's see here. No other bodily, real physical changes. It just feels like I have gained that 2 pounds back. Maybe a little bit more. From the last doctor visit, how I lost weight. 2 pounds. Well, I just feel like I've gained the pounds back, and maybe a little bit more. And I feel better because of it. And right now, because it's my time in the month, my breasts are up in size. I mean, they're a lot fuller. It seems like, yeah, if you can see, that's what they are now. And it feels like they're really like up in size and a little bit uncomfortable. So it's like they're up in size. I've just been uncomfortable because it's my hormone and my time in the month. I'm feeling it all. And last 2 months, it's been about 9 days and it's been really strong. And this month so far, it's not been too strong. But it seems like the last 2 months and this month, it's more normal. Like how I feel it when it comes on and how it's feeling. Except it's kind of confusing and weird and feels normal at the same time. Because right now, it feels like I have female genitalia. I feel like in the vaginal cavity where that should be, but I don't have female genitalia, so that's what's kind of making this feel a little awkward and weird and whatnot while I'm going through this time of the month, because I feel one way and it's constructed another way. So it's the mind-body connection. It's like something's not right and it's like weird, but it feels normal at the same time. So I'm like, I have to deal with that. I just have to do things that makes me comfortable in my body. And just to deal with this. And I'm hoping, because yeah. And also I noticed my sex drive has completely been different as well. It's been a lot lower. My sex drive has been lower than what it usually is during this time. When I mean lower, I mean a lot lower. In a comfortable range for me as a trans woman. So that's a change I've noticed. So yeah, which I really don't get erections that, like, I mean, like in the male way, how it's a full erection. That doesn't happen to me. Or like if something goes on throughout the day and I get aroused or something, it's not in the male way anymore. I don't get that erection. Unless I missed a dose on my spironolactone, then the testosterone's a little bit higher. But it's what it feels like. But when I don't miss a dose, because kind of last night I kind of almost missed the dose and I was kind of feeling a little bit down there, but it went away. It's like really went away quickly. I mean, within like 20 seconds, it was, yeah. And I've noticed if I personally get an erection. I have a hard time lately keeping it that way. And it's more soft and squishy. The tissue down there is more soft and squishy. And right where the foreskin meets the head, yes, I'm going to talk about this. Skin just seems really thin, and if I get an erection, this is what my experience is. I never heard any trans women talk about this except for Isabella Bunny Bennett a little bit, how the skin's thin down there, and it's a few other trans women, but it's not widely talked about, just the skin being thin. But I also noticed not just that, this part that no one really talks about, right where that foreskin meets the head, that area, because how thin the skin is, and it's actually much tighter, I've noticed. So if I do get an erection, the skin's like pulled back. I notice it squishes like the head part like this, and it seems like it's wanting to stretch that skin out and it can't, so it's holding the blood flow up there, and it gets tighter and it becomes uncomfortable and painful. And a few times I noticed like where the blood veins are under the surface of the skin sometimes cracks a little bit, and yeah, it's uncomfortable. And that's part of the reason why, if you watched my tucking videos with the Leo lines, that's why I use those, because it's not tight tucking. Because that also, if I'm really tightly tucked, it makes that uncomfortable because of all that. So that's why I wear that underwear, because I don't have to tightly tuck and still be tucked and comfortable. So that's a change that's gradually over time has gotten more and more the way it is. Yeah. And other than that, I've been just doing the best I can to be comfortable with my body. And because my breasts are up in size, and as you can see, yeah, you can see they're up in size like this. You can see they're up in size and whatnot. So yeah, so I'm taking the therapist's advice and continuing to do what I've been doing, because I decided to get comfortable with my body, meditate naked, and just to get comfortable with my body, and she just wants me to continue doing that. So it's helped, and that's basically what's been going on in my life lately. It's been a trip, so since the last video. So until my next video, just comment, rate, and subscribe, and check on my blog, because I've done some new blogs, and I've done a new video on my other channel that goes with those blogs. So if you go check those out, in the description, the blog link will be down there. Link to it's in there. So just comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, I'll do the best I can to answer them. Yeah.